I got a new thing. This is the Cyclamatic CX2, which is a folding electric bike I got on Amazon. It was around $500, and I'll end up putting a link in the description thing below the video here. So I wanted to do, I've done about 40 miles on it total, so it's real pretty new, and it's treating me well. It is treating me well, so I just wanted to, you know, give a look over this. So this is, so far I've been carrying the extra things that you kind of have to have for a bicycle just like this. So this is a good opportunity to show you how the rack is. This strap comes with it, and it has one of these spring loaded hold downs in the back. It's been pretty powerful. I live in Pittsburgh, and the hill that I live on top of is really steep. The fast way to come up the hill is a 14% grade, and I know this bike can't do that. I've been going the long way up the hill twice from the slow incline that's about a mile and comes to the same 220-foot rise, and once on the steeper side, which is about half a mile for a 220-foot rise. The fast way, if you're walking and just, you know, doing the distance, is definitely the direction where you only do a quarter mile, and that's where it's somewhere between a tenth and a quarter mile, and it is a 220-foot rise to do that, so that averages at about 14% grade. Very steep hill. It seems like I can do 2 hills per trip before the battery starts to drop. It's a pretty good assist. You do have to get the pedal to come. It's a little bit more than halfway of a turn before the motor's going to kick in. So starting dead on a hill, uphill, is difficult. And that's why I haven't attempted the fast way up the hill, is because were I to have to pause part way, this bike is 47 pounds, and it's not going to get me going again. On that steep of a hill, I don't believe I have the strength currently to get it going again. It probably could handle the incline, but not the, I couldn't handle getting the motor to start running. This does not have a strict throttle, which means it is legal for use as simply a bicycle with no extra coverage, special license, and no restrictions. So I did take it down so you can see how far up I am. I took it, I don't know if you'll be able to see. We're up above a river, and I took it to a hill that's one more down from what you can see right here, so across the river. There's rails to trails most of the way, so that's kind of nice. So it's been really nice. It comes with a proper light in the front. Let me see if I can get it to, there we go. So that's on. It does have a bit of a spotlight effect. I thought it was just a reflector because, well, doesn't it just look like only a reflector? So I ended up getting an extra light, and I'm glad I did. And it does not have a tail light, and I think I need to tighten this tail light because it keeps turning sideways while I'm riding. So I went ahead and got a tail light as an add-on. There's not really a good place, if you're going to be storing things on the back rack, there's not really a good place, but I had part of an old tire, an old inner tube, and I wrapped that around until it was thick enough. So there's a key on the side that you can put it off, and if you push it in and turn it, then it is removable. It does come with the really good kickstand. It's a very stable kickstand. And the controller, if I turn it back on, come on now, there we go. If I turn it back on, it looks like this. Now the interesting thing about the reader is, so you have your modes, low, medium, and high assist. That's the light bulb. And then this is how full the battery is. And if I could put that in quotes in the method that I'm recording this, I would put that in quotes. Because it's interesting to watch it happen. It started to dip in battery power as I was coming up the hill. And when it was in high and I was pedaling, it got down here. And I haven't charged it. So like these two lights were out and it was about halfway. And I haven't charged it. As soon as I put it back in low, it said it had more power. It said it was full again. So I would say that this is reading how much current is coming through the lines and not reading the amperage remaining. And I don't know what that does, but you have to hold it down for it to do it. So it'd be interesting to see what that does when it's full, because this is additionally a reader on top of the battery. Obviously you can't see that while you're riding, but if it's more accurate, it still might be a useful tool to have. So I did 8 miles and 2 really big hills today up. 2 really big hills, and I used the high setting a decent amount because I wanted to see what it would do. And I got home just fine. It was starting to dip in battery. It was starting to struggle a little bit by then. On low assist, it's supposed to have a 35-mile range. But that is on average terrain, and Pittsburgh and where I live is definitely not average terrain. So, other quirks. So it is a folding bike. And it's a bit of a hassle to fold. I might do a video at another time to show. And it definitely doesn't, like, you know, you can't just, like, pull it behind you. It's all wobbly and wonky. It squeaks. It squeaks a lot. So that is a little bit annoying, but worth it. And another thing that I really didn't even, wouldn't have even thought. I don't know how you say the word, pannier bag, whatever you call it. I had this from before, when I used to bike commute on just a normal old bicycle. When I worked downtown, I now work quite a ways farther away. And it had a rail right against the edge, and you can see that this, maybe you can't, let's get a good angle. This, like, support bar sticks out quite a bit farther than that. So something I didn't realize is that it's not going to accept a quick release panner bag. And that's not because there's those straps there. The only way I was able to get it to go on, lay it down, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this, slide it across this way, but then when I do that, it bows it like crazy, and it doesn't seem very secure at all. So yeah, here we go. So it's hooked, and I can push it a little, but see it popped back off, and I'd have to do it all over again. And even once I did fight really hard to get it on yesterday, 2 days ago, it was really bending the bag and looking like it could pop off at any second, and also looking like it was damaging the bag. In fact, my grab handle used to be fully attached, and it popped off in that process. So that kind of bag doesn't work with this, and since I want to use this for shopping and errands and that kind of thing as well, I definitely had to look at saddlebag style that, has like a cloth here and 2 bags on either side. So that is something that I had to make an additional investment in order to have all the features I thought I was going to have. I haven't had it in rain yet, but it does have this cover. I don't know, can you see the pins in there? Yeah, there you go. for the charge spot, and it is a waterproof case for the batteries, so I've been told that it's acceptable for using in the rain, that it's waterproof. And I also got a spoke light, but on second thought I might end up moving that to the front wheel, because with a bag on that it's going to be really pretty well covered over and not so easy to see. It's been really nice having the mud guards, haven't any trouble, no trouble at all with that. So basically it squeaks, it's difficult to fold. Anything with a hook style for saddle bag holders isn't going to work with it. And the battery reader is not greatly accurate. I am loving it though. I am absolutely loving it because I can just go to the store. So I've been without a car for a couple years because I've decided to prioritize going ahead and paying down my house instead of paying more and more on a car all the time. And so this is, compared to a car, a very low cost option for increased mobility for somebody that lives on top of a hill. It would be impossible for me to slowly get into shape for biking again, because if I go more than a block away, I'm like dropping down a cliff, alongside a cliff, 220 feet down in about 1/10 to 1/4 of a mile. It's just absolutely dropping down off the face of the earth. And no matter where I go, there's a huge hill to contend with, and it's prohibitive to getting back into shape for biking, because you can't go anywhere like useful or fun or like worthwhile. And you're kind of like endlessly randomly pedaling around the neighborhood. So this has been wonderful, and I think I could get a lot more range off of it if once I get to the point where I'm working harder instead of just, I think recently I've mainly just been testing, since it's just been 3 or 4 trips, testing what the battery can do. And once I have a better understanding of that, I think I will know how to manage the battery level better and how much power to put into it. I don't even have to break a sweat on high coming up the slow incline hill. And on the medium incline hill to get back up to my house, I did have to actually pedal to keep it going, but it wasn't a lot of work. I wasn't having to jump out of my seat. It does just have 6 gears. And I'm finding that when I'm in low or on a flat regular area, you can't actually see because of reflection, but there's a number in there. Oh, it is. It's a 6. There you go. And, you know, you just turn. It came with the bell. It's not a fancy bell. It's just a ding. People don't actually recognize it, it turns out, on the trails. Either that or it was the fact that it was a beer festival down in Millvale today. People are just too drunk to know what to do. Yeah, so it's a very nice bike, and I'll show folding it. I might even show riding it at some point. We'll see. We'll see. But I did have to get a different bag than I had, and that's a good thing to know ahead of time, because I didn't know I was going to have to make that additional investment. But considering that it's a really good access vehicle for me, I'm really happy with the price point. I'm really happy with how it's behaving. I'm happy with the fact that it folds. My plan is to go ahead and put it under the greeting table at late night events that are up in the city, because I don't think that I could leave it locked outside and necessarily come back to it still there, but that putting it under the table would be really good. I did go to the pool today. I just pulled the battery and the seat post off. Oh, there's no like quick release. You do actually have to like pull the seat post totally off. So I used some silver Sharpie to mark where my seat post height would be for putting it back on. So you pull the seat post off, you pull the battery out, and then it does come out You have to turn the key so that it'll release and take the seat post off. But that allowed me, it's probably only about 7 pounds, it allowed me to take the battery away and just lock it like a regular bike, because people do realize that this is an electric bike when they see it, so it's not something that can easily just be left with any safety, because they know it's a higher value item, and depending on where you are, that might attract the kind of attention you don't want. But people are excited, I'm excited. What was most unbelievable to me is I picked this up in East Liberty, and it's like an 8 or 10 mile ride from East Liberty to my house. There's only one major incline, and I think it took about half an hour, and I just pedaled home. I haven't biked in years, and I was smiling like a buffoon the whole time, and I didn't even have to break a sweat. So very, very happy with this bike. You can tell it doesn't have suspension. At first I kind of didn't remember that, if you pop up out of your seat, at least the seat doesn't like cram you in the butt. Really ends up hurting if you don't like lift yourself out of the seat. And the motor will not kick in unless this is going around. Now, you don't have to be pushing it. You can just be rotating your feet and let the motor do everything. Or you can be pushing it, and with only so many gears, there's a lot of times where even in low gear, you can't keep up with the motor. The motor's making you go faster unless you're just gonna like pop, 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 pop. If you're gonna be pedaling that fast, then you might keep up with it. But more gears might make that more of a power share level of effectiveness. Low is slow. Medium is, so the speeds differ based on the power level too. And I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. It was easy to just stop being scared and start doing it. So I hope that this is a helpful review, and I hope you're having a good weekend. Okay, bye.